I'm Rosina Buckman. Today we're going to talk about planting seeds, pricking out seedlings, and propagating hard and soft cuttings. Here we go. So this is the equipment that we need. First of all, remember your marking pen and your ice cream stick. Always label everything. I normally use small punnets like this for my seeds because that's plenty for me. And if I'm wanting to plant a large amount of seeds, I use a punnet like that. What I plant my seeds in is a mixture of river sand and sieved potting mix. The other thing you need is a water bath and your seeds. And I think you're ready to go. So today I'm going to plant some tropical lady's finger eggplants. So I'll need this punnet, which I 3/4 fill with river sand, and I put it in the water bath so that it soaks very, very well. And then I just water it a little bit from the top, just to make sure that it's well watered. So while that's happening, I'll just get out a few seeds. So we'll say this is ready. So we stand it on this little tray just to drain a little bit. And then I just sprinkle the seeds onto the surface. Okay, and then that should be enough for my needs. This is a very lovely little eggplant, this one. So when you're covering the seeds, remember that the depth of the soil should be twice the size of the seed. And use one of the punnets, just tample them down firmly. Sprinkle with a little bit more water, just very, very gently, so that you know that those seeds are in contact with some water. And here's the label, lady's finger, eggplant, and the date. There it is. And it goes into this seed raising box. And that will go into my shade house. And in about 10-14 days time, I'll have seedlings. The key to successful seed raising is observation. For instance, these seedlings here were only planted on the 21st of the 10th. That's this month. That's 10 days ago. And already they're too lanky. See these ones here? They're far too lanky. So they will be not suitable for pricking out. On the other hand, these ones that I planted a month ago are perfect now for pricking out. What we're going to do now is prepare our potting mix. The mix that we prepared before for seed raising didn't need any nutrients because the seeds have enough of their own to grow. Now we need to put in the nutrients to create healthy plants. These are the products that I use. This is a very good potting mix, organic if possible. It's been sieved in the large sieve to get out all the heavy stuff. I would add 1 teaspoon of Natramin, 1 teaspoon of soil conditioner, 1 teaspoon of gypsum, and just mix it in, ready to go. I sprinkle this plant with a little bit of organic extra, and when I'm finished with all of that, I make a mixture of worm juice, molasses, and Natrakelp, and I sprinkle the punnet with that, and then put it in the shade house. So the punnet, I usually do about half full. Yeah, that's good. Into the water bath for a minute, and this is the exciting part. Grab your plants, This is my secret weapon. This is a little bamboo skewer. And once you've got one of those, you don't have to worry about hurting your plant. So I'm just going to tip this out, this whole thing. I'll put it down in this little tray here. Maybe these ones here, yeah. Okay, those ones there, right? And the most important thing when you're handling your seedling is to never touch the stem. And just hold it gently by the leaves, like so. Pop it into your punnet. See how you can just prick them out, so they're very, very gently. Alright. And I just pick them up by the leaf and just gently fill around with the soft soil, okay? And just tamper them down. And when they're sitting up like that, that's exactly right. Okay. So then I'd go like that normally when I'm nearly finished, just to firm up the soil a little bit. Okay, and I like to have them standing up so they look like they're happy. Alright, so then they go back into the water bath for a little while, and then I prepare the final nutrient mix. This has already got worm juice in it, so I'm just going to add a teaspoon of natural kelp, a teaspoon of molasses into there. It's very little you need. It's amazing just what a wonderful nutrient both of those are. And then I just shake it vigorously. Top it up with water so that's about the right proportion for the strength that you'd need for a seedling. Okay, lovely. Okay, so now I'm just pouring this into the kelp and worm mixture and molasses mixture into a watering can so that I can gently water my seedling tray that's all ready to go in to the shade house. And I'm just going to give it its nutrient wash. Beautiful, lovely. And this punnet of plants is going to grow, because on the very last thing I do is I make sure that each seedling has got at least one pellet of organic extra, and that's a slow release fertilizer which makes sure that you're going to have a really lovely healthy plant. And don't forget to label it before you put it into your propagating house. So I would just put this lid on, close it up, carry it off into the shade house. So this one here is the ones I've just pricked out, and this plant here is the size that it would be ready to go out in the garden. Now I'm going to do a hard and soft cutting propagation demonstration. So these are the ingredients that I use. This is the previously mixed potting mix, and this is honey, scissors, wire cutters, a knife, some wire, plastic bags with ties. This is just a little pot with, little plastic that comes around your newspaper. Makes a perfect little propagation tool there. Some underneath mulching for the pot, and this is a soft cutting here that I want to show how to make a soft cutting, and also this is the lemon basil with the label on it all ready for me to prepare. First of all, get our pot and put a little bit of this dampened soaked mulch. I've soaked it in the molasses mix in the bottom. It just stops all the soil coming out all over the place. And then I 3/4 fill it with the soil, tamping it down quite firmly, and I have to use my secret weapon at this stage, and this is a bigger skewer, and I just make a dibble hole, it's called, in there. So here's the dibble hole ready for it to put your hard cutting in. Okay. So then I put it in a water bath again. I love these water baths, don't I? And just, this is nutrient, the same nutrient molasses and kelp and worm juice mixed with water. And just make sure that it's all nice and wet. So while it's soaking up the nutrients, I'll prepare the hard cutting. This is a lemon basil, and you can see that it's already going to flower. So if we leave those flowers on, it'll be using up energy that's not necessary to be used. So we'll cut those all off, and yes, nearly there. Very good. Yeah, I like that. And there's a little brown one there I'll cut off as well. It's a dead one. Okay. So with a knife, I now scrape along. There's a little joints in there. Just scrape along down here a little bit. Sharp knife. And then the cutting gets dipped into honey. Like so. And just let it drain a little bit. Then the honey has lots of bacteria in it that helps the plant to grow roots. And put it into the hole, lift it up to your soil, let it dribble a little bit, and then just fill up around it, backfill as we say. Press down firmly, make sure that the roots are totally and completely in. Just going to cut off a few little more bits here that we don't need. Okay, so then I'd probably give that another little water, I'd say, before I put it into its little house. Okay, so there we go, that'll do it. Then the wire, you make a little tent, like so. Okay. And then this dear little bag that we got from over our newspaper the other day just slips all the way over it. Don't forget to put your label inside. Over the top. And this, in this case, I can use a rubber band. Just put it over. And now this plant has its own little hothouse. Okay? And the last thing of all that I do is I cut in 2 little holes for ventilation. Here, one there, and one on the other side. Yeah, beautiful. And then I would stand it in a little saucer in the shade house, and as the shade house gets watered every day, there'll be enough water collected in that saucer to keep it alive, and don't touch it for 2 weeks. About 2 weeks ago, and I haven't had the lid off it yet, so this is the exciting part. Has it worked? So just slip off the tent. Yay! We've got a beautiful little plant all ready to go. This is a bush basil, and so I'll be planting that out in my garden around probably a Tahitian spinach or something like that to confuse the insects. So I want to talk now about soft cuttings, and I'm going to be talking today about sweet basil. So what I do with a sweet basil is I just cut the first joint like so, and I cut off all the extra leaves like that, and these leaves I cut in half, even more, the bigger leaves, because once again the plant doesn't need to be using up all its energy on feeding these leaves. What we're wanting the plant to do now is to develop a root system here on this little joint. So I'd probably give that just a tiny little scrape along there with the knife, just to encourage some root growth. And then just simply sit it in water, and you'll find that in about 10 days' time it's got lots and lots of roots, and you can put it in the garden. So this little basil here has been sitting in water for a week or two, and it's got these tiny little roots on it. So now I'm just going to plant it into a pot. So I'm going to cut off these little bits here. We don't need those. And I'm going to put that back in there and get this ready to put the soil into. Very good. So I'll put some prepared potting mix into there. About 3/4 full. I usually like to give it a good bang on just to make sure that all the air pockets are gone. I'll probably do a little dibble with this one too, my special dibble stick, just to make the hole since it's quite a big pot. Lifting it up by the leaves again, so you don't have to worry about disturbing the stem. Just pop it in as deep as it can go, and then bring the soil in around it. Firm it down. I'll put a little bit of organic extra on it, just to slow release feed it, and then put it in there for watering. Very nice. Put the label in and put it into the propagation box for a couple of days until it strengthens up, and then it can just go on the shelf of the shade house until it gets big enough to plant out. Another way of propagating I've discovered is pineapple tops. What I normally do is I just pick up all the old stuff from round underneath here, and you can see already that there's roots growing there, and I've actually sat it in this glass with the base of the plant not even in the water, and the roots have come out and seeking the water in there. So when there's a few more roots, I just plant that into a pot. So I hope this little demonstration has been helpful to you, and I wish you all the best with your seed planting, seed raising, seed saving, all the way around the wrong way, but never mind. Just enjoy your gardening.